What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You know, I was thinking about something earlier today. It's kind of a conundrum, at least in my mind it is. I was sitting there at lunch and I was looking at this truck. It was a brand new Ford truck. It was a F-250 or F-350 4x4, and I was looking at it and I'm like, you know, I know what the 4x4 stands for. It means four wheels and four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, essentially. And I was looking at it and I'm like, man, this thing actually has six wheels. You know, regular vehicles are considered 4x2 because they're only rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. So I was looking at this damn truck and I was thinking, man, that really should be 6x4. It only logically makes sense in my mind that it would be 6x4. 4x6 sounds better, but that wouldn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm sorry about that tangent, y'all. Let's leave a comment in the comment section down there. Let me know what you think. Should those cars be a 6x4, or should they just be 4x4 for the ease of it? I think it should be 6x4. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. But let's get into some news today, and you're gonna love where I'm gonna go because I've never talked about this before. I didn't really want to talk about Israel today. I was trying to find another story that wasn't Israel, but by God, there's so many people talking about it. So this story happens to link two of my favorite things. Biden administration considers tying Ukraine funding to Israeli aid request. Oh my goodness, here we go. The White House is considering tying more Ukraine funding to a request for a crucial aid package to Israel in a bid to get Congress back on board with support for Ukraine, the Washington Post reported Monday. The Biden administration is expected to announce a military aid package for Israel after Hamas and Palestine militants carried out terrorist attacks against the country that killed over 1,000 Israelis and at least 9 Americans. But whether the aid package is approved could depend on Congress approving further funding for Ukraine in tandem, even as support in both chambers for Ukraine aid has dropped dramatically in recent months, according to the Post. National Security Council advisor John Kirby wouldn't answer whether or not the aid to Israel will be tied to further Ukraine funding, but noted that the Biden administration believes both are incredibly important, according to the Post. Administration officials told the Post it could be a smart move because it would jam the far right and force Republicans to vote yes on future Ukraine funding, as there already high bipartisan support for Israel aid. The insanity. This is why I dislike the Democrats and why I'm loving Matt Gaetz and the Freedom Caucus in Congress right now, because of crap like this. You don't want to support Ukraine? Well, we're just going to take this funding package and tie it to something that you do support. So then when you don't want to support those, we can say, oh, well, you're bad for blah, blah, blah. You didn't want to support this. Well, it's just fucked up in my opinion. I'm sorry to cuss. Like I say, I try not to cuss, but sometimes those words just come out. But it's aggravating as hell. It's really aggravating as hell, and this is why we need those single subject spending packages. We don't need to be tying a bunch of crap together because of stuff like this. Politicians use it to go after their political rivals. It also is a bed for corruption. We can eliminate a whole lot of spending in the government budget right now if we would get rid of these spending packages like this and doing crap that way, because it doesn't make any sense to me to put all this stuff together. You might be thinking right off the top, well, sure, it makes a bunch of sense. We can put all this together and then pay for this and this and this and not have to vote on all these different things. But like I said before, it just breeds corruption and it shouldn't be done. And it's why we are in trouble right now. Our economy, that is. That's why our economy is in the gutter. Plus the fact that we printed damn near $10 trillion. I say 10 trillion. Yeah, it's about 10 trillion. It was a lot. We printed a shit ton of money. COVID did a number on our economy, but the Democrats and the Republicans didn't help the situation at all. Neither one of them did. They're both to blame. Trump is also to blame because he was part of that. He had a lot to do with that spending package. And I know Trump supporters might get mad at me for saying that, but it's the fucking truth. Trump is partly to blame for some of this inflation. And Biden just came in with a wrecking ball afterwards. He sure didn't help things, but Trump essentially got the ball rolling. Let's keep going though. The Biden administration has sent over $75 billion. Stop. Yeah, you see it? Right there? $75 billion. Now, we all know that's a lie. The real number, the official number, is $113 billion. But like I've stated before, we looked at some other stuff. It's closer to $200 billion. So, I don't know why they're lying about that. Doesn't make any sense when that's easily fact-checked. You can go look that up. You'll find $113 billion right there, plain as day. But anyway, so it's spent $75 billion to keep since the beginning of the Ukraine's war against Russia in February 2022. Biden announced last week that he would give a major speech on the importance of support for Ukraine after Congress denied his request for additional aid. I'm going to make this argument that it's overwhelmingly in the interest of the United States of America that Ukraine succeed, Biden said Wednesday. And it's overwhelmingly in our interest. Israel is seeking an assortment of military aid from the Biden administration, including different types of machine gun ammunition, bombs, and replenishment of its Iron Dome defense interceptors, according to the Post. The aid package and the terms of the deal are expected to be announced by the White House this week. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told Biden on Monday that Israel had no other option than to retaliate against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Israel Defense Force subsequently began counteroffensive measures and began bombing the Strip after warning civilians to evacuate. Water and electricity, which Israel has been providing to the territory, were shut off, according to the Associated Press. On Sunday, the day after Hamas began its attacks, President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden hosted a barbecue for executive White House staff and their families in the Rose Garden. On Monday, Biden called a lid at noon and held no further press or public events for the rest of the day. The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So, you guys know how I feel about intervention, about sending money to places. Honestly, this is going to be biased. I know. It's going to be biased, but I would much rather send aid to Israel than send aid to Ukraine. Israel has been one of our allies since 1948, since its inception. We have strong ties to Israel. We're, like I said, great allies. We rely on Israel for a lot of things. We have defense partnerships with them. We have trade agreements. We have all kinds of stuff going on with them. Of course, we have some trade agreements with Ukraine too, but Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries in Europe. And Israel is not. Mostly because it's not in Europe. Sorry, I know I had to throw that in there. Israel has its corruption too. Don't let me try to say, that they don't. I'm not trying to say that at all, because they do. Every country has its fair share of corruption. The United States is supposed to be, the beacon of freedom, something that the whole world should look up to. But we're just as corrupt as a lot of other countries. I would argue that there are some European countries that are less corrupt than we are, but it's hard to measure corruption. How do you measure corruption exactly? How do you know exactly how much corruption is going on in a country to be able to measure that? You can't. There's no way to know. I mean, you can kind of tell with some things. The only way to get a good estimate is when they get caught for doing corrupt things. But, if you don't get caught doing corrupt stuff, how the hell are you going to be known for, it doesn't make any sense to try to figure out how corrupt somebody is. But, like I said, Israel, we've been allies with them for a long time. That's the Jewish homeland. our ties in America. We have strong Christian ties here in America. A lot of our laws derive from the Bible and from, the Ten Commandments and that kind of morality. So Israel being what it is, we have strong ties to essentially the Bible. I mean, that's where all the stuff in the Bible happened, in that area, not in Israel, but that area. We have strong ties. There are a lot stronger ties to Israel than we do to Ukraine. But look, I can see the writing on the wall. I understand that, look, yeah, it's coming. We're going to send aid to Israel, so we're probably going to send aid to Ukraine as well. While we're at it, why not send some more aid to Taiwan? Fuck it. Since we're sending aid out, one thing, sending all these aid packages out like that seems kind of unfair, don't it? That's kind of my argument. We shouldn't be doing all this, but we are. If we can afford to do it, let's do it. But right now we have a lot more problems that we need to take care of at home. And I just don't think we should be doing it. It's not that I dislike Ukraine or I dislike Israel. I just, clean up your own house first. That's what I'm about. But hey, look, that's all I got for this one, y'all. Tell me what you think about the 6x4. Should it be 6x4 or should it just be 4x4? You tell me. And tell me what you think about tying these aid packages together like that and sending them out. The Democrats are going to only do that just to get Republicans to vote for the Ukraine aid. It's obvious. That's the only reason why they tie these things together. It's just aggravating to me. I would much prefer, let's vote on this one single issue, but hey, look, I'm still rambling. I can't shut up about it. So, thanks for watching, y'all. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And try to have a positive day. Peace.